Salve guys, beleza? Jogo 3 aqui, entendeu? Agora eu tô sozinho. Ele sim, o maior guerreiro aqui da história do Flex das estrelas aí, do Chora da Kit, entendeu? Do Chinese Super Server. O último guerreiro foi dormir. Também já são 5h20 da manhã, 5h30 já. Então, tá certo ele, né? Eu que sou o errado aqui, velho. Aí, mano, não vou nem analisar por enquanto, mano. Quer dizer, eu só vou falar umas coisinhas aqui, mas nada demais, mano. Jogo 1 aqui, eles estão banindo praticamente a mesma coisa. Nautilus Calista e aqui Pop Lucia. Aí os últimos bans foram um pouco diferentes, ó. No primeiro jogo bateu um ban Yumi, eu até falei com o primo. Que ia ser assim, se a Genji não banir Yumi no segundo aqui, a T1 vai banir Yumi de terceiro e vai querer picar Zir. Foi quase isso. Eles baniram Yumi, a Genji não vai banir nada, certo? Porque é o jeito certo, tipo, ia ser o jeito certo aqui. Porque aqui eles iam ter que picar, por exemplo, o Zeri ou o Sivir, tanto faz, e aqui eles pegam a Lulu, que é o único suporte que combina muito com o Sivir e Zeri, que não é Yumi. Sivir, Zeri e Yumi e Lulu. Esses quatro aqui, eles combinam muito entre si. Obviamente menos Sivir com Zeri e Lulu com Yumi, mas tipo, esse com esse, esse com esse, esse com esse, esse com esse, entendeu? Tá dando pra ver? Tá dando pra ver, né? Tá. Então, se você deixar 3, teoricamente você precisa banir um, porque o first pick tipo, o first pick ele vai ter que pegar um dos que não, tipo, obviamente ele tem que picar um dos que tem 2, né? Porque não, pera, calma aí. Buguei. Calma, buguei. Não, tá, beleza. É que o Lulu, ele não é tão prio assim, mas tipo, que nem Yumi. Yumi é bem mais roubado que Lulu, mas teoricamente o certo era que era picar Lulu, né? Primeiro Lulu, aí aqui vem qualquer DK aqui, Zeri, provavelmente ia vir Zeri mesmo. E depois aqui pega Sivir, mas tudo bem. Aqui a Zeri fez tudo, a Zeri e Lulu fez tudo aqui, não precisa nem passar aqui, o jogo foi, o Ruler ficou 16/1, foda-se. Aqui dessa vez eles tiraram o Azir, deixaram o Yumi open, e aqui a Genji bane Sivir. O que acontece, ó, como a bane Sivir, você tem que picar ou Yumi ou Zeri. Aí é duro. O Yumi é o Zeri aqui. Aí eles pegaram o Yumi, porque o Yumi é o correto aqui. Infelizmente o Yumi é o correto aqui. Porque se eles pegam o Zeri aqui, os caras pegam Yumi e qualquer coisa e foda-se. Aí aqui eles pegaram Nila e Silas, beleza. Não sei qual que é o mais brabo aqui. Aí aqui eles pegaram Zeri, pra ficar Zeri e Yumi, e eles pegaram Renek, mano. Eu já imaginava que ia ser Renek mid, porque contra Silas teoricamente é decente, é bom. E aqui o Lehands deu o Lehands Special aqui, beleza. Sejuani. Ah, então, o quarto de Sejuani é muito forte também, porque você não sabe se é jungle ou se é top. As duas vezes foi jungle, mas não dá pra saber. Até um lançou um Morgana e Jax aqui. Que Jax? Não foi Jax que não, foi Inar. Eu mudou no último segundo. Aí aqui foi meio doideira, mas ok. E Atrox, tá. Esse jogo foi Stomp, tipo, tudo. Stomp tudo. Teve o que fazer. Então, não vou nem falar nada. Agora...
And their choice may surprise many of you, I believe.
Blue.
What do you think, gentlemen? Do you think that it's time for a switch up? I mean, I think regardless of what choice you make here as T1, and they will choose red side here, which is what you were alluding to.
Pegou red side agora. Vamos ver. Tem que tentar, né, mano? Tem que tentar. Se você perder 2 vezes de blue side, tem que tentar red side uma vez, mano. Não sabia, mano. Quem perde escolhe o lado, velho. Não sabia que era assim que funcionava. Eu achava que ficava trocando os lados, tipo, a escolha de lado alternado. Mas assim é mais justo.
Based on how Genji have played, based on how T1 individually have looked, as Des pointed out, they could have drafted 5 Teemos. That is stretching it for sure.
I think that is, yeah.
Assim é mais
But
justo.
the point underneath that Hyperball stands, individually, if we talked so much coming in this finals about Ruler. If he can come in,
Nossa, tem um círculozinho ali rodando a T1 e o da Gigi não tem. Será que é porque a T1 tá perdendo? Picks e bans. Vamos ver. Nossa, mano, tô com muito sono, vocês não tem noção, velho. Nossa. Nautilus. Nossa, proibido jogar de Nautilus. Meu Deus. Proibido jogar de pop também. Não mudou nada, vai mudar nada então. Baby de novo. What the fuck, velho? Mudou nada. Calista. E aí, Genji? Vai banir o que agora? Esse terceiro vai duro. Camille. Que isso? Tava de banho aqui. Até eu não quero picar Yumi mais porque o Lehend joga demais no seguinte, mano. Então eles vão banir Yumi aqui. Não pode deixar eu jogar de Yumi. Aí o first pick aqui vai ser... sei lá, velho. Sério. Pior que se pegar Zir também é foda, né? Seja... gostei. Até que gostei. Aí pegou Yumi. Não, beleza. Não é tão ruim de pegar Yumi, porque tipo, agora que é garantido que é Yumi, dá pra pegar Zeri Lulu aqui. Agora foi tech inteligente, Zeri Lulu aqui. Ou se vir Lulu, tanto faz.
Is of course going for that Sejuani Yasuo bottom lane. That is now impossible. T1 will lock away at least the Sivir, so denying what has been the most successful recent Yumi counterpart. But Ona does have the ability to head towards.
Olha só, não, gostei. Vai, teoricamente é counter de Zeri. E agora já pegou o Sivir. Então... então tem como vir Morgana agora, isso que é o foda. Mas se não picarem Morgana agora, Azir... é Zeri mesmo. Zeri e Azir, eu acho. Aí, aqui eles erram Lulu, certo? Lulu, e aqui eles banem Morgana. Tem os que estão falando. Olha, assim tá legal até, tá mais legal. Embora tem Zeri, mas olha aqui. Não! Cadê o Lulu, cara? Gente! Pelo menos tira a Morgana, pelo amor de Deus.
It didn't lead to any big success here, no big changes, and even with Vi being able to instantly, ult Zeri.
Se bem que na real o pick área é melhor, é bom também na real, né? A área do Faker tá boa hoje. E a área com Vi é foda, né? Muito forte. O Kong. Mano, mas tem que tirar a Morgana, pelo amor de Deus, velho. Se não tirar a Morgana, você é foda. Embora nunca vi o Pedro jogar de Morgana, mas mesmo assim, não é tão difícil de jogar, eu acho. Não sei se ele tá na pool dele, eu não sei.
A very high priority bottom lane pick themselves in the Sivir, but now Gen.G get to go into this next round of bans and they can get rid of some of the answers to the Yumi that we've seen, such as the Amumu and of course the Lulu as well, which does also come to mind. Carrier, we'll see whether he's been practicing something like this or whether Gen.G are going to clue into it and take that one away instead.
Porque acho que a área é maior do que Lulu aqui, infelizmente.
Loses you control of the laning phase, which means
aqui vai vir Lulu, é possível. Se não vier Lulu, eles vão picar.
We saw that in game 1 where they didn't control the early prio. They lost 2 Drakes early.
E aí, se não for Lulu, se não deixar passar Lulu, eu não sei nem que eles vão picar aqui, mano. Warning? Como assim? Errado aqui.
Interesting. I was expecting them to go for Ornn Trundle here on the rotation, but not going to be the case. Instead, it's going to be the
e agora aqui eles vão picar o quê? Nem sei que a gente vai picar aqui agora.
Blind Aatrox, Blind Renekton, of course, also a possibility here for Doran, but Aatrox really has felt like the champion he is most comfortable on.
Pior que a Trox é roubada com o Yumi também, por isso que tá picando a Trox, tá sempre com o Enchanterzinho. Renekton, imaginei que ia ser Renekton também.
The Morgana you mentioned also still available.
Exactly.
And a lot of magic damage.
Renekton e Morgana, velho.
Do you even care?
I mean, Renekton Morgana, that's so strong as well. If you can
make nunca vi o pena de Morgana, velho, na vida. Mas Morgana faz estrago aqui demais.
Ruler on a crit 80 carry.
And you don't need to go for the Leandri's build as Chovy in this game because you're not dealing with strong tanks. You ban the Ornn.
Jinzhao.
Jinzhao also very strong here in terms of hard engage.
Yeah, you get to click on the enemy AD carry and go in there. So that is certainly a great option here for Gen G who want to be taking out Gumayusi.
Spell shielding basically impossible.
Agora sobrou top,
well. Like, good luck.
Nar, será?
Yeah, and additionally,
Camille? Não, Camille tá ban. Na verdade, esqueci.
Also does very well
Sei lá,
with on
velho.
top of him, but even if owner goes in, the rest of the team tries to follow up. An ultimate from Pina.
Olha!
Oh, Zeus.
I love this. This was one of the original answers to Yuumi. All those
Mordekaiser é interessante, mano. Sabe por quê? Porque quando você chama o cara que tá com a Yumi, a Yumi sai voando. Eu só não sei como funciona depois. Eu acho que ela tem como sair, né? Mas, tipo, ela tá em outra pessoa. Mas eu acho que é interessante isso aqui, velho. Esse draft é meio doido, mas eu gostei. Eu não sei o LS, o que o LS acha, né? Tem que tentar coisas diferentes, mano. Tem que fazer. Vamos ver o que o LS acha.
Mordekaiser means you don't have topside control necessarily. Can be decent into the Renekton, but early objective control.
Então o problema é que o LS falou aqui que se vir Ari ou Kong ou se vir Ari vai, todos eles pedem pra Yuumi Azir Zeri. Então tem que fazer.
Got almost exactly what they wanted on Gen G's side. This time T1 on the red side though for the first time this series. See whether that's going to be enough to get them back into it. It is the beginning, potentially. A reverse sweep time. T1, their backs are well and truly against the wall now. Chovy looking for that first final victory. Ruler as well after all these years, still looking for his first domestic final victory. This might be the time. It could be this game.
It's been so long. 3 out of the 5 players.
LS falou que foi pra Super Saiyajin, mano. Ele ligou o Super Saiyajin. Concordo, velho. O cara tá fazendo tudo. Olha o Chovy de camisa do teu. Começou o jogo. Olha o Faker, doidão. Perdão, tá 2 a 0 já, hein, velho. Pior que eu tô com sono, mano. Se for pra 5 jogos, eu não sei nem se eu aguento. Não sei nem se eu aguento, mano. A torcida. Forte, né?
You can hear the T1 fans definitely wanting us to get a series out of today. They have to win this game if they're going to do so. If they do win it, it's off the back of Zeus's Mordekaiser towards that top side of the map. I am very excited to see how this game is going to go. T1's draft, it looks fine, but you look on the side of Gen G, and I think that they would have blind picked 4 of these champions.
I think that something that has kind of gone unsaid here as we've talked about Gen G's second places is that 18 runner-up is 18 finals worth of experience.
Será que tem que comparar o homem, Mr. Régua, velho? Não dá, né? Ó, os dois começaram de abatedora. Faker. Trocou o bagulho. Vai ganhar 3. Tá bom. A Ari, pelo que eu entendi, a Ari tem que jogar bem agro, mano, por causa do bagulho e tal, por causa da passiva. Se você farmar, tipo, farmar 9 minions, você cura HP, né? Aí de pouco em pouco você vai ficando com mais HP que o cara, mano. Ainda mais quando você starter de bot, e aí é meio forte, né?
I don't know if they have it in them to reverse sweep. You know, you mentioned earlier, Chronicle, that you think they did. I kind of disagree.
And
o Faker quer tradar, mas o Chovy não tá deixando. Aí.
Thing I really like about this T1 draft is a draft with a lot of agency. Vi Ari basically plays itself, and hopefully it'll incentivize T1 to have a game that at least is more like game
Aí, Faker tá machucando, cara.
No, I think it's
vai deixar barato mesmo? Nossa senhora! Nossa, mid diff. Acabou o jogo.
We saw what Rudo did in the previous game,
Gente.
and that was without Yuumi. That combo, to me, is just the epitome of not a lot of counterplay at some points, But not only is there the Vi Ahri, but Zeus also has tremendous carry potential by finding key targets in team fights. Not unlike what Poppy does.
Nossa, vai tomar gank.
Mordekaiser did it before it was cool.
Tem
I
ward.
don't know if that's going to be enough though. I don't think it will be.
That's the thing that's really difficult here in this series, and when you see that it's T1
vai queimar
choosing the
TP
red
já.
side,
Nossa
that's
senhora.
when you know that something has gone wrong, right? That's when you know that their backs are well and
Nossa,
truly
olha o
against
top,
the wall,
velho.
because they've realized that
Meu Deus do céu, o que tá
try as they
acontecendo
might,
nesse jogo já? Nossa, já tá
getting the
acabando esse jogo
drafts that
aqui
they
já.
wanted wasn't possible
Gente.
from the blue side. But this is a team that has been very vocal about enjoying blue side throughout this entire year. And so that is what really does put a lot of fear into my mind about T1's chances. However, looking up and down the draft, I don't think it's going to be as bad as game number 2.
No.
Especially considering the fact that Gen G have a lot of these scaling options this time around as well. So probably going to be a much more honest game of League of Legends. But I
Os caras
still
estão falando que vai ser mais
think it's going
equilibrado
to
essa
be very
partida, eu não tenho
difficult for
certeza não.
T1 to take it. They do though, the momentum
Mas
switch.
acho que vai. Tem chance, tem uma boa chance na real. Mas não tô mais tão
agree, the
otimista mais, né?
could be
Do jeito que
massive if
o que
T1
aconteceu
actually
outra partida,
suddenly start
velho.
coming
Meu
back.
Deus
They
do
win
céu.
2 in a row, but I don't want to get too
Que
ahead of
stomp,
ourselves
velho.
here. I'm interested to see how team fights go, because Zeus, yes, he can rip the Yuumi, away essentially by taking away the whoever she's attached to, but
Nossa, acabou o ward.
oh no.
Nossa, nem fudendo, velho.
Wow. That timing's pretty absurd. Voltbreaker going to come forward. Doran does have flash available. Oh, the sidestep, not quite enough range, but the death grip is good enough. As Zeus is looking for it. There's
Ué,
the flash, the black
nossa, o
ball
Doran jogou
from
muito
both
mal,
of the
pelo amor de
T1
Deus,
players,
velho.
and they'll lock down first
Nossa,
blood.
entregou muita paçoca.
Just a little bit late here, unfortunately, on the
Ih,
play.
pegou.
The timing of that so unfortunate there for Doran.
Não pulou.
And down he
O
goes.
adulto, né?
Charging. He's looking for
Sai,
it
louco,
as the
sai,
knockout,
sai.
but even with the
Nossa, mas
teleport,
hoje tá podre
don't think
também,
he
né?
wants to go
Pelo
for
amor
it
de
right
Deus.
now.
Nossa, mas o Doran
Doran
jogou muito mal, velho. Deu de graça aqui.
Not gonna commit, but we'll give him back control of the lane. Oh.
Errou.
Immediate return gank.
Ooh, great side
Nossa, o
step
Chovy
there
não
from
foi
Chovy
base
as we
ainda.
see a bit of a
Nossa,
scuffle
você
in
tá
the
dando
mid
Final
lane,
Faker sem
conquering
base.
Sands, fair bit of damage on
Tá
the
que
Faker.
pariu.
And do note, Chovy forced Faker back when Faker was sitting around 16 CS. Faker was forced to TP. Chovy got a free back. And as a result now has so much more pressure in this lane. So getting a play topside for T1,
Nossa senhora, Zer foda, velho. Que nada manda esse cara aí.
looking as dire as it looks this entire series.
His wave state, or the wave manipulation is using here as well, putting the Sand Soldiers in the middle, making Faker have to use his Q to actually clear, and last hit means he has so much more agency. Ooh. Owner again.
Yeah,
Nossa.
I'm seeing tents here towards the top side.
Nossa, ele tem 20 de farm só.
But not going to be something they commit to just yet. Peanut in the area. As Doran knows that things could get very, very dangerous. And also Gen G understand that they have the vision control. Owner's still here though for the counter gank opportunity. As we're bringing them back forward. There's the Vault Breaker once again as Doran slices, dices, gets himself out, but is Peanut going to be so lucky? The answer's yes. Doesn't have to invest his flash just yet.
And this is where you see the value of Mordekaiser. Really a stat checky champion, and if you're playing into double melee, get so much value out of that. Really nicely done. T1 playing to their one pressure point, and we're just staying top.
Well, yeah, this is just a 2v2 lane now, I guess. Jungling, not a thing. As that's a really nice use of Death Grip. That's going to deny it, obliterate, fair bit of damage there onto Peanut.
Doran knows 6 is coming up, and with that they could try to duel as Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy looking for a solo kill here, but Faker is underneath his turret, and Chovy not going to get too greedy.
Mano, Chovy não foi base ainda.
Chovy is just such an insane laner. He's just doing this so consistently against Ahri. Arguably his best champion.
Well, there's an exhaust on Gumayusi. You can see
Faker cancelou base de novo.
Quite find the engage that they're looking for there, and in fact, Lahen's just used both of his.
É que uma hora a mana do Chovy acaba.
Right, Dominus is going to come through here as Slice comes in. Where's the
Caraca, mano, os Zeus lá jogam muito.
That was in fact the dice before.
Agora eu vou morrer.
To it a little bit too late. So Peanut has flash. Finish this one off. He does have that flash that he prepared earlier, and that will mean the kill. Gen G even the scoreline.
And I think Doran is very aware of how much extra time siphoned experience there on the top side. He hits 6 first, knows he isn't going to be able to ult him under turret. He's still level 5, commits the Dominus, knows he's, I mean, he's really playing with fire here.
É, se bem que, sei lá. Não tem como fazer dano aqui, não faz nada também, não sei.
So he gets 6 first. And obviously the Xinqiao a little bit further behind on the play here.
Ah, foram dois flashes também, né?
It's
Nessa hora aí.
this call here from Doran, knowing he has 6, knowing he's zoned out of experience. Zayas can't hit 6 in this exchange. So smart.
And Zayas also feeling safe there, but due to the ward, Doran knows, yep, you're still there. I can take you down easily. Peanut, love the flash here as well. Not wasting any time, not trying to go for any cheeky plays, just making sure, get the kill, get out, get the plate from my top laner, and as a result, even with the amount of attention played towards top side, we now see Zayas in a very, very rough state, looking to go for a more tanky build of Mordekaiser, just relying on the base damage and the utility that he does provide with his ultimate, but early game wins for Genji with a Renekton and a Zercomp. I've seen that before.
Nossa, mas no mid tá muito duro, velho. Meu Deus do céu. Precisa fazer alguma coisa, velho.
We don't talk about bot lane.
That's the thing that's very, very frightening here. Because of course, Zera Yuumi does still exist in this team composition. Haven't even mentioned it.
Has a slight gold deficit at the moment, but very slight. And, you know, this is the prio we were talking about that Genji have. They are going to try to utilize for early Drake control. This is where things can get very hairy for T1, because if you give too many early objectives, you are, of course, going to give Genji the ability to slowly get 3 items Zeri. But if you fight...
Nossa, vai certinho. Ô, louco!
Use of the Spirit Rush to get out of the way of the Emperor's Divide. Carrier going to be here in position. As Ruler still just fighting this one out. Oh my goodness, the damage is already absurd. But not going to be able to pick up any kills just yet. They get the flash and the ghost out of Gumayusi though, and it's definitely very important here for Genji.
T1 trying to group up and set up for a
Nossa, se o Ruler fica na merda pra eles.
And they're grouped up for Drake now. I mean, this is the Azir control.
Agora é Drake.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to mid
Faz nada, velho.
like the ability that Chovy has.
O Faker não consegue fazer nada, porque a matchup é muito ruim.
TTP?
Que porra é essa? Vai lutar? Que luta é essa, velho? Nossa, que é isso, mano?
Not gonna be able to do it. Can't get there in time.
Dace is running
for an assault battery target, but Peanut just once again gonna show him his top hat and make his way out.
Zayas also rotates bottom, so he's losing control here top side. Doran's is sitting pretty. And I mean, he rotates
Tá, esse jogo já acabou também,
but
já,
it's just win after win after win here for Genji. Tiny gold lead, but that objective is 5 minutes of time for the Azir and the Zeri.
Oh dear, Gumayusi in trouble. Remember, no flash, no ghost. And Spell Shield is not going to save you from that one, although it might. Never mind, Carrier comes on over, does manage to shield him up, and so Gumayusi will walk it out.
But Flash is expended for it as well.
And he lives, but at the very least, Wave going to get shoved in. Guma very low, might be trying to pick it up here regardless, with Carrier standing watch. This time around Faker earlier on the play, so bot lane of Genji not going to take any risks, because I want to reiterate, Genji doesn't need to take a risk in this world.
Ruler stayed. He was looking for an extendo beam bottom. I was watching him. They pinged him. And he will, of course, get away. Guma, that is.
Well, Chovy gets word. The fact that Ona might be in the area. Does throw that ward in, gets a little bit of information, but control vision here towards that top side for T1. Will make sure that things get very dark for Chovy once again. As Ruler is going to skate his way out, gets himself a plate before he will go back home. See how close to his first item he is going to be as he gets there.
Another problem for Prio is, where do you get value out of this Rift Herald? Where does it go? Where's the lane control here for T1? Not a whole lot of it anywhere on the map, and Peanut's just kind of surfing around, threatening non-stop, and Faker's caught behind this wave again. Look at Chovy, puts the Sand Soldier in the middle. Faker cannot farm here. He has to wait for the wave. And just repeatedly, we're seeing this over and over again. And it's unfortunately a Lulu, so there's no extra support roams that Carrier could do against this Yuumi like we saw Lehens do on the Singed.
You gotta get kills here. You gotta start taking down people with this Ahri and Vi.
Yeah.
Can't just play it late, especially with a early Mountain Drake getting picked up for a pick-based composition like T1's. It's really, really rough.
Well, Lehens is gonna rotate over. Looking to help out the Pigeon. Peanut will turn up again, but they do manage to get the charge. Will it be the turret as well? Looks like the answer is going to be no. T1 not going to be able to finish that one off, but it is still a fair bit of plate money. As Ruler not wanting to overextend either here towards this bottom side. Genji definitely playing very respectfully this stage of the game.
Yeah, he's just finished his call. He's happy to sit back here and carefully push this one in. Taking only one plate.
Opa, tem kill aqui. Nossa, falou. Tome. Nossa, vai. Vai, faz tudo. Esse que é bom. Faz tudo não, mas é muito bom contra Zeri, graças a Deus.
Reading into some backs, they did have a fair amount of vision on bot side, but didn't catch crucial rotations of a couple of members coming through. And Ruler have been playing very respectfully up until this point, gets taken down there. Owner really continuously looking for these plays that they need. Again, T1's comp, I think, has way more pressure on them, and picking up early plates, picking up kills like this.
Yeah,
very much what they need to do.
Grabs another plate with the demolish he took again here, just like game one.
A Joey tá
So
fazendo
they do get some extra gold here. Was not just a trade of kill for plate here, with Ruler going down and mid plate going
over. Não é melhor? Os caras mesmo falaram que pra gente ia fazer Ludens que faz mais sentido, mas não sei. Acho que faz, né? Tem um papel, mano. Vai não é tanque, né, se for ver.
They need to force more kills than just an overextended Zeri here. They need to win a team fight. They need something decisive, and this is clean and all, but Chovy gets a plate mid. Top side still under control by Doran, and now Ruler's just free farming mid.
Yeah, he's going to move back to a little bit of added safety, I guess, although his turret is not very healthy. Still, they have a lot of vision now.
Deixa eu ver um negócio, deixa eu abrir a janela, rapidão.
A couple of plates already here towards his top side as Doran just going to walk it out. Looking to see whether he could stop him from having a great time with Zeus, but not able to actually stop the Renekton from moving away.
Tá nascendo o sol já,
Still
mano.
has a 30 CS advantage
Deixa eu
here.
ver aqui, ó, se dá pra ver.
Crocodile.
Aumentou a claridade aí, deixa eu ver. Não, ainda não. Mas já acho que aumenta. Quase 6 horas já.
I don't think Doran really wins the extended trades anymore. We'll still be able to very easily get prio, but very clear indication as well that Gen G are reading this as a we are playing for the mid to late stage of the game.
Tá meio, né? Mano, Azir, Zeri e Yumi não tem como. O late game é muito forte, mano. Não pode deixar chegar muito late, velho. Tem que ficar na frente de algum jeito. Mas é muito difícil, mano. Muito difícil. Os caras tomaram muita pouca play, mano. O jogo tá muito ruim já. Daqui a pouco vai vir um Zeri Moment e vai acabar o jogo, velho.
Yeah, and that's my problem with this Mordekaiser right now. Yeah, he can win extended trades on the side lane, but in a team fight, his impact might just be too little if he can't actually ult the Zeri target, or the Yumi rather, attached target. Normally going to be the Zeri, who's extremely high range, extremely fast, and he won't be able to necessarily close the gap.
It's difficult.
É, isso mesmo. É isso mesmo que o cara falou.
Top side, he's looking to try and take down this turret. Will be the first of the game if he's able to get there. Chovy looking to defend here towards the bottom side. That Drake
Se ele não conseguir ultar o cara que tá com a Yumi não tem jogo, mano. Tipo, não tem jogo não, o Mordekaiser não faz nada no caso. Drag da T1. Será que ele mata o Chovy? Chovy tem flash, mas não. Ah, não vou pra cima.
Threat onto Chovy here, but Chovy has information now. Is just going to be backing underneath his turret, and no one is
Drake de fogo de novo, velho.
Stop him from doing so.
Terceiro já?
I think this goes back to the identification of
velho,
Gen G
sei lá,
knowing
velho.
where their win conditions
Faz
are.
sentido isso aí,
It's the
não.
late game. They don't get the setup they want on the Drake. They push down top turret, push in some extra waves top. Doran actually takes Krugs on the top side of the map, and Gen G just say, well, I think your comp is pretty strong right now. You have the better setup, so let's just avoid fighting. And yeah, Chovy just sits under this turret defensively, and Faker splits off, so it's not like they lose a ton cross-map here, but still losing a little bit topside.
Agora as zonas aqui é bom, Faker, concordo. Bora dar outra também fazer sentido, contra Azir é bom, né? Na real.
But in terms of what his impact is going to be to set up and defend for the Azir Zeri.
And also then, Gen G don't need to have the worst Drake in the game, which is the Ocean Drake. Just not wanting to grab that. Three Infernals sounds better, I guess. So they don't really lose out on too much by giving up the play anyway. So still not a very large lead or anything like that. T1 certainly a lot of options even as the game goes later. It's just the Yumi problem that we've seen so many times.
Yeah,
the hands is a very, very scary thing. But on the hunt's going to be popped here as they look for Peanut. Final chapter comes in. Faker is going to get stunned up, but they just brute force the turret down.
Só queimou o ult da... Só queimou o ult da... velho, da Civil, tá difícil hoje. Tá bom até, não tá ruim não. Mas também tá perdendo... Os caras perdem recurso demais, né? Sei lá. Side lane tá muito badinho, mano. Os caras tão dando aula em side lane. Olha lá o Azir do outro lado do mapa lá. Faker tem que dar base, teoricamente.
Yeah, Chovy managed to get some side lane farm and things like this, and you know, Ruler is tidying up the mid lane, but T1 are now starting to grab some objectives back. They're starting to increase the tempo.
Porque se alguém for top, o Chovy dá TP, bot e dá play, né? É foda, mano. Aí o Frigger tá puxando mid, mano.
He had to use it in order to keep himself safe.
And the problem with this for T1 is that they are dropping waves across the map continuously. So yes, they are getting objectives, they're getting the charge, they got the mid lane turret, they get the bot lane turret. They're getting a lot done, but it doesn't actually net them a gold lead as...
Oh dear, Faker has to use all of his spirit rushes. Oh, he does have one
Só
rush,
TP de qualidade, gente.
So, he's able to escape.
Nossa!
Dashing around, seeing what he can do. So,
essa ult foi ruim, velho. Nossa, quase dá merda, mano. Os caras têm visão e morrem.
Looks to go for a bit of a counter push.
Yeah, and the person who's losing the most out of this, like you're saying, Chronicler, is Zeus, and he's playing obviously utility on this Mordekaiser, but the Renekton is getting free farm and getting free experience, and he is going to be split on 2 items.
Another wave. Yeah, so many. The previous one was a cannon, so you're not going to feel too bad about that one, but Chovy really stacked a big one in towards the top side.
Próximo tag em 40. Ah, é Baron próximo já, na verdade. Baron em 30, mano. Nossa senhora. Mas ele já tá quase vindo de PD já, alguma também tá de PD, provavelmente. Não, próxima wave, acho. Sei lá. Eu diria que é a próxima wave. Tá igual o Ruler.
You possess the currently best AD carry in the LCK by a large margin, combined with the best Yuumi. Which that combo is good even
o certo é não esperar mais ou menos o drag que tiver quase nascendo pra pegar o red, não vai mais sentido. O que eu tava pensando? Ah lá, agora o Luan fechou TD. Tem que conseguir comprar esse top watch. Tem gold. Sei que já tá de zonhas. Sei que tá de exaust. Isso é bom. O problema é que ele, como ele tá de exaust, ele não tá de TP. E se ele não tá de TP, ele não pode ficar na side. É foda. Se o Zeus queima TP, é pra parar o Chovy, teoricamente. Então vai ter que ter fight 5x5 sem split, mano. Enquanto isso o Chovy não tem TP, mas ele fica bot e o Renek tem. Duro, né?
Ruler got what? A quadra kill on Zeri?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, it was one of the 3, I believe, quadra kills that he managed to pick up in that game. 12 seconds though.
Vazou o Renek. Vai ter 5x5 aqui.
Looking to try and start stacking these up. Something that
ou não vai? Ou a gente só vai entregar só? Não sei. Ô louco, doidão isso daí. Foi? Morreu. Morre, toma dano. Cara. Nossa, o time quase que ele vai. Vai que nem doido. Ah, Zerimont, já morreu, Zerimont, fodeu. Ah, velho, meu Deus do céu, velho. Nossa, quase. Eita porra. Ah, velho. Meu Deus do céu, cara. Mano, não faz sentido pular no Xal, cara. O Xal aperta R só, velho. Não faz sentido, velho. Nossa, mano. Mas espera, velho. Vai pro 5x5, sincero, cara. Nossa, mano. Agora entregou, mano. Nossa, entregou a maior das paçoca, velho. Olha isso, o que foi isso, Honor? Nossa, velho. Meu Deus, que bagulho feio, velho. Aí, ó, não mata, não tem como matar, mano. Peanut. O Faker foi no Ruler também, mano. Se o Faker vai no pit, ele leva o Peanut, mas o Ruler faz tudo também, né? Mas acho que... Nossa, o Faker errou o Sharp também. Ah, mano, mas tinha que ter... Acho que o Faker jogou mal aqui, mano. Nossa, ele tá jogando mal, hein, cara. Nossa, ele queimou o Exhaust. Ah, mas o Exhaust tem que queimar mesmo pra pegar TP. Beleza, faz sentido.
To feel like we are on a turning point here for this match and for Gen.G, the organization and the players, because this is such a good game state for them. Like, I can't overstate like how good you're feeling if you're Gen.G here. You got even a single Inferno already is not something that's calm.
Oh, it is. This is a very, very scary Gen.G right now. Not quite the same situation where we were, you know, writing eulogies of things at this point in time.
O cara fez Frostfire. Por que Frostfire?
As far as that is concerned, and there's no gigantic gold leads or anything like that.
Eu acho que
We don't have soul point on the table just yet, and now T1, they are going for the T1 Baron.
Ah não, eles não vão pro Baron, velho. Meu Deus do céu, velho.
Oh my goodness, the extended beam's already starting to do a fair bit of work here as Peanut in position to go and try to work out this 50-50 on the smite. Zeus is going to put him in the death.
Olha, não tem Mordekaiser, tá, faz sentido, faz sentido. Um pouco mais. Se sei, é que não sai. Sai? What? Fala da T1 aí, ó. Presente, professor. Ok. Não bombaram. Nossa, mas foi arriscado aqui só, viu? Fala pra você. Nossa, foi um Baron muito bom, mano. Tá, agora talvez tenha jogo, mano. Caralho, presente.
I don't even think it's a risky call because you have Zeus, you have the ultimate to put Peanut out of the fight, and you know there is no teleport on Renekton. The moment that Doran is spotted, you're down a member as Gen G. T1, I think just a really good read here, making use of the Mordekaiser pick.
Aí jogaram bem, mano. Usaram o Mordekaiser pra garantir o Baron. Porque esse aí já não é mais um flip, né?
As much value as you can outside of this Baron buff. And the 2 minutes you have Baron now lines up perfectly with this Infernal Drake. But if anybody gets picked, if this Baron falls on his face, doesn't actually get high value. It's so difficult to do with this comp. You know, especially when
agora o Mordekaiser tá indo pro... Como é que é o nome dele? Tem Demonic Embrace?
T1 won't necessarily actually change how this next dragon fight is going to go. So they have to play this both aggressively but conservatively enough.
O Renex vai levar a torre ali em cima. Ah, mas se levar de baixo tá... Ok. Mas tem que ir lá, velho. Vai lá, filho. Vai base não? Nossa, eles vão perder o farm todo lá do top, velho. Que bonito.
Once again, the macro game being won out by them because this whole minion wave is just dying to the turret.
Que agonia, cara.
Finish his demonic embrace and will be able to deal with the last few minions that are going down. But as you can see, it's a 55 CS advantage here for Doran on his big
CS,
and what's happening here is Ace is dropping wave. He's playing for his team.
E agora, mano?
But he has been the player that
vai ter fight no drag de novo.
Finals, but overall the summer split has been his split. He was the one who, up until the couple of rough weeks he had where he tried a little bit too hard in week 7, week 8, he was, together with Owner, the shining light for this team. And now he's dropping wave, he's giving up resources, and that does put more onus on Gumayushi.
Se o Guma conseguir comprar um IE, tá que beleza, mano. Mas se não for comprar um IE, stopwatch também, né? Recal rápido, nice.
So they need to do the heavy lifting. They need to be able to win this next
team
fight. Because if you give up soul point to Genji to give up 2 Infernal Drakes, I don't think you come back.
That's my issue
here.
Genji get prio here because of that topside wave. 3 go back. Genji against Baron have minion waves here in the mid lane, where they control it, and then now they've got control over the Drake itself. Rather, not Baron. And how do you get in here as T1? You don't have the choke point controlled.
Yeah, well, there is Quadra stopwatch available here for Genji, but Infinity Edge was just done. For Gumayushi, he's going to make his way over on the hunt at the ready. So T1, I mean, this is a pretty good time to fight if there is ever going to be one. They do still need to find the correct angles to make this one happen. They are taking a lot of poke damage, though. He can't do that. He's so pivotal. Like you guys were saying, almost has his teleport available, but I don't know whether it's going to be up in enough time. And Genji are going to come on over here and look to take down this Drake. Yeah, they're more healthy, but there's a lot of damage here on Genji. And Doran, one crocodile with a cat is going to be enough to deter T1 from stopping this. That is Infernal Soul Point.
And that's enough because it's Yumi, it's a Renekton,
foi será? Segurou muito o Ruler lá, mano, mas será que é o suficiente, velho? Chamou o Ruler, puxa isso. Chama pro Brasil. Nossa, mas o Gomes morreu. O Ruler também matou o Jesus. Ah, velho. Não entendi nada, velho. Nossa, jogaram muito também.
You do that much damage to the Mordekaiser, you can't ult anyone.
Por que o Faker parou o recal, velho? Oh! Presente, flashou. Faker flashou? Não flashou. Nossa! Calma, Faker.
But still, Gen.G are pushing down the front door. They're going to be able to take that. Oh, okay, never mind. Faker does have a lot of wave clear, and so they will keep this turret alive on a sliver. Have to wait a wave before they take that one down because the health bar is not high enough. The mana bar is also struggling a lot here on T1's side. They have to vacate. That means that this turret is definitely dead.
As close as it was, I mean, 3 stopwatches still up here for Gen.G. I mean,
again, it reeks of understandably given how the game
pegou.
has gone.
Por que não foi no Dora? Não entendi, velho.
It's a hard force here, trying to get onto the Zeri, but this is why Renekton is so high priority.
Tá. Na real, eu acho que lá no Ruler foi certo, acho.
With a stopwatch, with Sterex, with a Yumi, he dies at the end.
Nossa, mas o Guma tomou um burst do Choke, velho. Tomou 100-0 praticamente, mano. Ah, mano. Essa fight foi roubada, mano. O Choke deu quase 100 no Mayushi, não valeu. Essa não valeu. Ah, não, o cara comprou Infinity Edge, fodeu.
Zeri moments looking to ensue now. Both of the AD carries do have their flashes available. And look, in all honesty, I still think that Siva is an extraordinarily high value late game damage threat. But I just,
eles não vão Baron, né, velho? Ah, esses caras é louco, velho. Não é possível.
There's too much peel and there's too much consistent damage here in this Azir. That's the issue. And Zeus keeps losing half his health bars before he can ult anyone, before he can do anything in these fights. There's too many threats to deal with as T1, whereas your Ahri is binary. She charms. Does she get the pick or no? She doesn't do the same amount of damage as Chovy can do.
Yeah, Faker waiting on the flank there. As you could see, they had control vision. As Gumayushi doesn't have a spell shield now.
Nossa, o wave clear desse boneco.
Thinking about the opportunity of an engage. I love this from Jonah Strong, getting that zoom in onto Faker. He's made plays in game states like this in the past, but he's going to have to dig so deep to make this one happen. I'm getting flashbacks to possible angles that he's managed to find. This time around, though, it's going to be so difficult.
There is a point which we are in right now where T1 can still win this game.
Nossa, a Yumi tá fazendo AP. Rapaz, agora que eu vi. Caramba, o cara tá testando. Ó, nossa, a pink da teu. Gente do céu. O bagulho não tá no mato. Nossa.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be picked up next. And from that point on, any play, any big charm hit that you might find, any Vi combo that you're looking for, becomes infinitely less valuable. It becomes way harder to actually collapse or turn into a kill. And as you pointed out, Wolf, even if you throw everything at Ruler and he dies, there's still a Renekton with a Yumi. There's a
Renekton with a Yumi. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the issue. And with stopwatch still uncracked, I mean, Ruler is very unlikely to die the first time this happens. And as T1, you're missing so much damage. Chovy hits level 16.
Nossa, o Chovy tá 16 já, velho.
Group up and start taking away Baron vision.
Meu Deus do céu.
I mean, a minute to go before this
Drake
spawns,
não consegue fazer
have
tudo
control
sozinho,
of
mano.
both objectives right now. T1 backed. And I mean, what do you do as T1
Ruler
now? How do you start a fight? Where do you find that pick? Because Ruler isn't overextending. He's not in the Ruler position. He's not vulnerable.
Well, he was pretty close to the Ruler position, but unfortunately for T1, Gen.G just owns so much of this map. And so the Ruler position is actually well and truly within Gen.G territory. GA now completed for Doran.
Eu não quero nem ver essa fight.
This is another thing that I was going to talk about as well. You mentioned the stopwatch so incredibly
2k de gold diff já, o Faker e o Chovy já.
Ruler's stopwatch in order to win a team fight, he should then be able to afford a GA, which means that once again he has a lot of control.
Não finish de novo não, velho.
Taking a fair bit of damage here, extendo beam. Also doing a lot of work in return. T1 still just testing.
Consegue fazer só o drag ali? Será que os Zeus conseguem fazer drag solo? Conseguir ele consegue, mas demora muito, né? 12. Caralho, toma, laser. Não desce todo mundo não, velho. É que como ele já startou, dá pra tipo fazer e depois subir, né? Ah, chamou. Tá. Vou garantir. Top 10. Beleza. Justo. Ok. Nossa, Mordekaiser esse que é doido, não. Mordekaiser garante o objetivo, velho.
able to pick themselves up the Drake rest. Oh, Doran.
Yeah, Salt and Battery, there's the dominance. I don't know whether it's going to be enough. He does have that GA available, but I don't know whether that is going to save him either. The Everfrost is a little bit too early as Doran flashes.
Nossa, fudeu. A Zeri como vai? Ligou o Ghost. Ué, não foi?
Yeah, this is very, very dangerous. And now
Puta, mas os caras bombaram, né?
they're counting the cooldowns.
Fudeu.
There aren't a whole lot left available for T1. Now moving over towards this Baron pit.
Eles não acertaram o Baron ainda. Meu Deus. Tô esperando voltar a escutar da T1. Que porra é essa, velho? O que tá acontecendo? Só porque tá com o Renek a menos? Meu Deus, aí ó, startaram finalmente, né? Nossa, olha o TP dos Slow, velho. Morreu.
And Zeus, yeah, he has no Death Realm and no way of getting out of this one. GNG, they find their target and they strike. And now T1
será?
inside this Baron pit. Can they get a pick back themselves as the Boomerang Blade?
Mano, o Baron startou do nada, eu não entendi como que ele startou.
Just so hard without a tank here. You don't have a front line in this comp anymore as T1. You can't win this. Timber will just get focused down. You're hoping for a miracle right now.
This is very dangerous. Ona, he's had a great smite button in the
tirou o
past.
flash do
Flash from Ruler. T1.
Nossa, o cara quase foi já. Meu Deus.
To this area, now Faker looks for his opportunity. Ruler, he's going to get hit by the jump, but Faker had to go golden too early, and Peanut will secure the Baron. Now Gumayushi is just trying to be huge in this fight, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. He is a one-man army, but it's not quite large enough, and Ruler is exactly the same thing.
Acabou, GG. Nossa, velho, meu Deus do céu.
It's a double kill in the end for the Gen G 80 carry, and they are in so much control. I think this might be Gen G now walking up for the very first time in summer to pick up their very first title for Ruler, for Lahens, for Doran, and for Chovy.
They're gonna move up. They're gonna try Atlas, and Gen G might not have
GG, velho. Nossa, mano. Cara, foi a primeira vez do Chovy, do Doran, do Chovy, do Ruler e do Lehengo, velho. LCK. Caramba. Cê é louco, velho. Cê é louco, mano. Presente, mano. Jogaram muito, velho. Que isso. Cê é louco. É nóis, rapaziada. Tamo junto aí. Por causa do atraso e tal, mano. Tô indo dormir. Que horas são? 6h20, velho. Nossa, mano. Se começasse 2 horas mesmo, mano. Nossa, eu tava dormindo 5 horas, velho. Que bosta. Mas tá bom. Jogaram muito, mano. Cê é louco. A gente jogou demais, mano. Nossa, os caras jogam muito. Cê é louco. Até eu nem clicou. F, né? É isso, mano. Tamo junto aí.